Florida has long been one of America's hottest housing markets. Cities up and down the Sunshine State saw prices soar during the pandemic as families, retirees, and investors rushed south for warmer weather, lower taxes, and a lifestyle that promised both comfort and opportunity. But here in 2025, that story is shifting in surprising ways. Across Florida, prices are no longer climbing at record pace. In fact, some markets are cooling dramatically. We are talking about double-digit drops in certain coastal communities, tens of thousands shaved off the median price in once booming suburbs, and even luxury destinations where values have slipped after years of nonstop growth. That means, for the first time in a long time, buyers have the upper hand. But which cities are seeing the steepest declines? Could it be a Gulf Coast boating paradise that everyone was rushing into just a couple of years ago? Or a Treasure Coast community once considered untouchable for retirees? Maybe even a metro as large as Orlando or Miami, where affordability has been slipping for years. Stay tuned, because in this countdown, we are revealing the top 20 Florida cities where home prices are crashing right now. 20. Jacksonville. Jacksonville is often overlooked in conversations about Florida real estate because it is not as flashy as Miami or as tourist-driven as Orlando. Yet in 2025, it has become one of the smartest places to watch if you are a buyer or retiree looking for value. This city, the largest in Florida by land area, offers everything from riverfront neighborhoods and coastal beaches to thriving suburbs, all while keeping costs noticeably lower than many other big metros. That balance of urban energy and relaxed Florida charm makes Jacksonville especially appealing right now. One of the most compelling reasons Jacksonville earns a place on this list is its affordability compared to its size. Home values here have ticked downward by roughly 3% year over year, which may not sound like a dramatic crash until you realize the dollar impact. The median home price now hovers around $300,000. For a metro area of nearly 1 million residents, with a sprawling job market and direct access to Atlantic beaches, that represents remarkable buying power. Buyers today can often negotiate an additional $10,000 to $15,000 off list prices, which makes the city one of the better bang-for-your-buck locations statewide. Jacksonville is not just about numbers. Quality of life matters, especially for retirees and families, and this city delivers. Residents have access to more than 20 miles of sandy shoreline, the beautiful St. Johns River, and an expanding park system that is among the largest in the nation. Healthcare is also a strength. Mayo Clinic has a major campus in the city, and Baptist Health and UF Health provide extensive services. That mix of outdoor lifestyle and strong medical access is a huge draw for retirees who want an active yet secure community. Another reason Jacksonville's softening prices matter is the strength of its economy. Unlike cities dependent solely on tourism, Jacksonville boasts diversity in logistics, banking, healthcare, and a growing tech sector. Companies like Fisk Global have moved headquarters here, creating long-term employment stability. Families benefit from this economic base, as it means continued infrastructure improvements, good schools in the suburbs, and investment in cultural amenities like the Jacksonville Symphony and the revitalized downtown waterfront. When you combine a resilient economy with falling home prices, you get a rare window where the fundamentals remain strong, but the entry costs are lower. For buyers, the dynamics of 2025 present opportunity. Inventory levels have risen, with homes staying on the market longer than in the frenzy of 2021 and 2022. That creates negotiating leverage. Retirees can downsize into charming riverfront condos or coastal properties in Jacksonville Beach without overpaying. Families can secure 3 or 4 bedroom homes in safe neighborhoods for less than the state's median price. Investors, too, are eyeing Jacksonville because rental demand is steady and acquisition costs are more favorable after the slight market correction. Ultimately, Jacksonville makes this list because it combines size, lifestyle, and affordability in a way few other Florida cities do right now. The 3% drop in values may not make headlines compared to double-digit declines elsewhere, but in real terms, it translates into tens of thousands in savings for buyers in a market that remains fundamentally strong. Whether you are a retiree seeking sunshine and healthcare access, a young family hunting for space at a fair price, or an investor looking for long-term stability, Jacksonville in 2025 offers a compelling case as a city where prices are softening at just the right time for buyers. 19. West Palm Beach. West Palm Beach is a city that embodies the classic South Florida lifestyle. Sunshine, ocean breezes, golf courses, and a vibrant cultural core. For years, however, affordability was slipping out of reach as prices surged in tandem with demand from Miami's overflow and the pandemic-era migration of retirees and remote workers. In 2025, that narrative has shifted. Prices in the West Palm Beach metro are finally showing real signs of softening, with median home values falling by about 5% compared to last year. That dip might seem modest, but in a market where homes regularly sit in the $500,000 range, it represents savings of $20,000 to $30,000 for buyers. This shift is significant because it opens doors that were beginning to close for middle-class families and retirees, hoping to plant roots in Palm Beach County. One of West Palm Beach's strongest appeals lies in its blend of amenities. Unlike Miami, which can be overwhelming in its density and cost, West Palm offers a calmer but still cosmopolitan atmosphere. Downtown Clematis Street is lined with restaurants and nightlife, while the Norton Museum of Art and the Kravis Center for the Performing Arts bring world-class culture. Just across the bridge sits Palm Beach Island, with its manicured estates and designer shops. Yet living in West Palm provides proximity to that luxury at a fraction of the cost. The current price correction makes that proximity even more attainable, as buyers can secure homes within minutes of these prestigious enclaves without stretching budgets as thin as they might have only a year or two ago. For retirees, West Palm Beach checks many critical boxes. The healthcare infrastructure is strong, with facilities like Good Samaritan Medical Center and Palm Beach Gardens Medical Center offering comprehensive services. The city also has an active retiree community that takes advantage of countless golf courses, waterfront parks, and boating opportunities along the intracoastal waterway. With housing now down by 5% year over year, a retiree who may have balked at $500,000 price tags in 2023 might now find themselves able to negotiate into the high 400s, giving them a cushion to preserve savings for medical care or leisure activities. Families, too, find value in West Palm Beach. Public schools in Palm Beach County include some well-regarded magnet programs, and the growing population has driven investment into infrastructure and recreational facilities. At the same time, families benefit from the city's relatively central location in South Florida. Miami is just over an hour to the south, Orlando a few hours north, and Fort Lauderdale sits between. This makes West Palm an excellent home base for those who want access to the broader region without the density or congestion of Miami. The affordability shift is being driven in part by increased inventory. Homes that once attracted multiple offers above asking are now sitting on the market for weeks or even months, giving buyers bargaining power. In 2025, sellers are more open to price reductions and concessions, whether it be covering closing costs or throwing in allowances for repairs. That kind of leverage was nearly impossible to imagine during the frenzy of 2021, when bidding wars were the norm. Today, buyers can afford to be choosier, and that change in dynamics is one of the key reasons West Palm Beach belongs on this list. Ultimately, West Palm Beach is not the cheapest market in Florida, nor will it ever be. But it is one of the most strategically appealing right now, because the combination of lifestyle, location, and falling prices gives buyers a value proposition that has not been available for years. A 5% dip at these price levels is meaningful, and with inventory on the rise, it signals a broader opening for families and retirees to finally access the South Florida dream without the sticker shock that has defined the past decade. For those who have always wanted the beaches and sunshine of Palm Beach County but thought it was slipping out of reach, 2025 is shaping up to be the year of opportunity. 18. Arcadia. Arcadia is one of those places that many Floridians know about, but few outsiders ever consider. And that is precisely why it has landed on this list. Tucked inland in DeSoto County, Arcadia is a quiet town that represents old Florida. It is far from the hustle of Miami or Orlando, yet it is close enough to the Gulf Coast that weekend trips to Sarasota or Fort Myers are easy. For retirees and homebuyers in search of peace and authenticity, Arcadia is worth a second look. In 2025, it also happens to be one of the most affordable communities in Florida, thanks to a housing correction that has erased a large chunk of the pandemic-era price run-up. Arcadia's real estate boom took many locals by surprise. During 2021 and 2022, demand from buyers priced out of coastal markets spilled into this rural town, driving median home prices toward $400,000. That figure was unprecedented for Arcadia, a place where affordability had long been its strongest selling point. But by mid-2025, the market has cooled considerably. Median list prices have dropped more than 8% compared to a year earlier, with typical homes now selling closer to the mid-300s. That equates to a savings of $30,000 or more for new buyers compared to the peak. The appeal of Arcadia extends beyond price. This is a community steeped in tradition, with a historic downtown known for its antique shops and monthly rodeo events. Life here is slower, quieter, and oriented around local gatherings rather than tourist attractions. For retirees, that slower pace means less congestion, less stress, and a lifestyle that prioritizes community connection. Families also benefit from safe neighborhoods and a cost of living that is significantly lower than the state average. With property taxes and insurance costs rising across Florida, towns like Arcadia stand out because even with those expenses, the total cost remains well below coastal hotspots. Healthcare access, a crucial factor for retirees, is available through facilities in DeSoto County and larger hospitals within an hour's drive. Meanwhile, outdoor lovers find plenty to do along the Peace River, which offers canoeing, fishing, and fossil hunting. These activities not only keep Arcadia connected to nature, but also reinforce its identity as a place that offers a more traditional Florida experience at a time when much of the state feels increasingly crowded. The housing correction has shifted the balance of power toward buyers. Homes are sitting on the market longer, and sellers are more willing to accept offers below asking. For those who thought they had missed their chance during the price surge, Arcadia in 2025 is a second opportunity. The drop in values means buyers can secure properties with larger lots, historic character, or even farmland at prices that were simply out of reach a year ago. When you combine affordability with lifestyle, Arcadia becomes a hidden gem in Florida's evolving housing landscape. 17. Kissimmee. Kissimmee, located in Osceola County, just south of Orlando, is a city that blends suburban living with proximity to some of the most famous attractions in the world. Known as the gateway to Walt Disney World, it has long attracted families who work in or around the tourism industry, as well as retirees who want to live near the excitement without paying Orlando's higher prices. In 2025, Kissimmee has earned a place on this list because home prices have finally begun to cool after years of rapid growth. Values are down roughly 4% compared to last year, and that drop has opened doors for buyers who were increasingly shut out during the boom. The median home price in Kissimmee now sits in the high $300,000 range, down from closer to $400,000 a year ago. That difference of $10,000 to $15,000 makes a meaningful impact for families and retirees who are budget conscious. Builders in the area, facing a surge of new construction, are also offering incentives such as lower closing costs, upgrades, and mortgage rate buydowns to keep sales moving. The combination of slightly lower prices and these incentives makes 2025 one of the best times in recent memory to buy in Osceola County. For retirees, Kissimmee offers several advantages. While it is close enough to Orlando's world-class hospitals and medical networks, it maintains a quieter, more suburban pace of life. The city is dotted with lakes and green spaces, including Lake Tehopekaliga, a favorite for fishing and birdwatching. Retirees also benefit from the abundance of recreational opportunities tied to the area's resorts and golf courses. For those who want a blend of peace and access to entertainment, Kissimmee provides a sweet spot, especially now that home prices have retreated from their highs. Families see another set of benefits. The Osceola County School District has been investing in new facilities, and the area offers plenty of community resources like youth sports leagues, shopping centers, and restaurants. The location is also strategic. Kissimmee sits just south of Orlando's International Airport, giving residents global connectivity, while highways make it easy to commute into Orlando or head toward the coast for weekend beach trips. With housing now slightly more affordable, families can stretch their dollars further while still enjoying access to one of Florida's most dynamic regions. Another critical factor is the shift in market dynamics. Homes that once sparked bidding wars are now lingering on the market, sometimes for weeks. Buyers have more leverage to negotiate, and the 4% decline in values reflects that growing inventory. For those who were priced out in 2022 or 2023, Kissimmee today represents a second chance. Buyers can secure suburban homes, newer townhouses, or even vacation-style properties at a discount compared to just a year ago. Kissimmee belongs on this list because it combines lifestyle benefits with newfound affordability. While the price drop is not as dramatic as in some coastal cities, the combination of declining values, builder incentives, and a strong local infrastructure make it a compelling market in 2025. For retirees and families alike, it is a place where value and quality of life intersect at just the right time. 16. Orlando. Orlando has long been one of the most dynamic cities in Florida, famous worldwide for its theme parks, but also increasingly recognized as a hub for technology, higher education, and healthcare. For years, demand outpaced supply, driving home values to record levels as newcomers poured in. But by 2025, the market has shifted. After several years of explosive growth, Orlando's housing prices have cooled, with average values slipping by roughly 3% compared to last year. For a metro that saw double-digit annual increases not long ago, this reversal is an important signal for buyers who thought the door to affordability had closed. The typical home in Orlando now sits in the $420,000 to $430,000 range, down about $10,000 to $15,000 from the prior year. That difference can translate to a smaller mortgage payment, easier qualification, or the ability to purchase in a neighborhood that might previously have been just out of reach. What makes Orlando particularly compelling is that this correction is happening in a city with enduring economic strength. While the headlines often focus on Disney, Universal, and SeaWorld, the job market here is diversified, with growth in healthcare, simulation technology, aerospace, and a large university system led by the University of Central Florida. For families and retirees, that stability means the dip in home prices is not a sign of economic weakness, but rather a natural cooling after unsustainable highs. Orlando also shines in livability. Retirees are drawn to the area for its climate, its strong network of hospitals, and the wide availability of active adult communities built over the past 2 decades. The presence of major healthcare providers ensures that medical needs can be met without extensive travel. Families find appeal in suburban areas like Lake Nona, Winter Garden, and Oviedo, which offer excellent schools, master-planned neighborhoods, and ample parks. With home values slightly lower than last year, more buyers can enter these desirable communities without stretching as far financially. Inventory has been rising steadily, and homes are staying on the market longer than they did during the frenzy of 2021. Sellers are increasingly willing to negotiate on price or offer concessions to close deals. For buyers, that means the power dynamic has shifted, making 2025 one of the best moments in years to shop for a home in Orlando. Whether it is a young family looking for space, retirees hoping to downsize into a low-maintenance villa, or investors searching for rental properties near the theme parks, the market is more accessible now than it has been in recent memory. Orlando earns its place on this list because it combines national recognition, diverse economic opportunities, and an enviable lifestyle with a housing market that is finally giving buyers some relief. A 3% dip may not sound dramatic, but when you pair it with stronger negotiating power and a more balanced market, it becomes clear that Orlando in 2025 is offering value that simply did not exist during the frenzy of just a few years ago. 15. Port St. Lucie. Port St. Lucie has quietly grown into one of Florida's fastest-rising mid-sized cities over the past 2 decades, attracting retirees, young families, and professionals seeking a blend of affordability and coastal access. Located along the Treasure Coast, it offers the charm of riverfront living, easy access to beaches, and a strong sense of community. Yet in 2021 and 2022, its housing market overheated as buyers fleeing Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Palm Beach pushed values to record levels. By 2025, that surge has finally reversed course. Prices have slipped roughly 4% over the past year, and homes that once seemed unattainable are starting to look reasonable again. The typical home in Port St. Lucie now sits in the $380,000 to $400,000 range. Compared to last year, that translates to savings of $15,000 to $20,000 on the average purchase. While not the steepest decline in Florida, the drop is particularly important here because affordability has always been Port St. Lucie's calling card. With prices easing back down, the city is regaining its reputation as a place where buyers can stretch their dollars further without sacrificing quality of life. For families and retirees alike, the timing could not be better. Retirees find plenty to love in Port St. Lucie. The city boasts dozens of parks, a vast preserve system, and easy access to the St. Lucie River, making it perfect for kayaking, boating, and fishing. Medical care is readily available through Cleveland Clinic Tradition Hospital and other regional providers. The overall pace is slower than South Florida's urban cores, creating a lifestyle that emphasizes safety, community events, and outdoor recreation. A retiree who might have hesitated to pay $400,000 or more in 2023 can now enter the market with less financial strain. Families are drawn by different strengths. The St. Lucie County school system has expanded with the city's growth, and youth sports and recreation programs are widely available. The city's location also works in its favor. West Palm Beach is about an hour to the south, Orlando about 2 hours to the north, and Miami within reach for a weekend trip. This balance of accessibility and affordability is what makes Port St. Lucie stand out against pricier metros. With homes now trending a few percent lower than last year, families find it easier to afford larger homes with yards and space for children. Inventory has also been climbing. Homes that once vanished from the market in days now take weeks to sell. Sellers are responding with price reductions and concessions, a dynamic shift from the peak years when bidding wars were common. This change gives buyers not only lower sticker prices, but also greater negotiating power. For anyone who missed out during the frenzy of 2021, Port St. Lucie in 2025 feels like a second chance. Port St. Lucie earns its spot on this list because it combines lifestyle benefits with a renewed sense of affordability. The 4% decline in home values might not make national headlines, but for buyers here, it represents a meaningful opportunity. In a city known for growth, community pride, and outdoor living, the ability to secure a home at a lower cost makes 2025 a buyer-friendly moment that is well worth seizing. 14. Tampa. Tampa has become one of the most talked-about cities in Florida over the past decade, transforming from a relatively quiet Gulf Coast metro into one of the state's most dynamic and attractive places to live. Young professionals, families, and retirees have flocked here for its mix of big city amenities, cultural vibrancy, and waterfront lifestyle. The growth was so fast that between 2020 and 2022, home prices skyrocketed, leaving many buyers priced out. But in 2025, the tide is finally turning. After years of relentless increases, Tampa's housing market is showing signs of cooling, with home values slipping about 5% year over year. That drop means a typical buyer can save around $20,000 compared to what the same home would have cost just a year earlier. The current median price sits near $400,000, which still reflects Tampa's desirability, but is meaningfully lower than the frenzy peak. For buyers who are watching from the sidelines in frustration, this decline signals opportunity. The city's economy remains strong, anchored by healthcare, universities, financial services, and the Port of Tampa. That economic foundation makes Tampa's price dip less about long-term weakness and more about the natural rebalancing after years of unsustainable growth. Buyers today can take advantage of that rebalancing without worrying about whether the city's fundamentals will hold. Tampa offers an enviable lifestyle that makes it particularly attractive during this more affordable window. Retirees appreciate the access to world-class healthcare through institutions like Tampa General Hospital and Moffitt Cancer Center. The climate allows for year-round outdoor activity, And Tampa Bay's waterfront communities provide fishing, boating, and leisurely walks along Bayshore Boulevard. Families value the city for its strong public and private school options, a growing network of suburban neighborhoods, and easy access to Gulf Coast beaches. With prices easing, both groups find it easier to step into the market than they could at any time in the last 5 years. Inventory is a major part of the story. Homes that were once snapped up in days are now sitting on the market longer, creating breathing room for buyers. Sellers are cutting prices, and concessions like help with closing costs are increasingly common. These changes give buyers negotiating power, a dramatic shift from the bidding wars of 2021. For retirees living on fixed incomes, that negotiating power translates into a chance to secure a home without overextending. For families, it may mean the difference between settling for a smaller property or being able to afford the space they truly want. Tampa's inclusion on this list underscores how even Florida's most vibrant metros are not immune to the housing correction of 2025. A 5% dip in home values may not sound drastic, but in a city where demand remains high, that decline represents a rare chance for buyers to enter the market on more favorable terms. Tampa offers the cultural depth of a big city, the beauty of Gulf Coast living, and now, with prices cooling, a path toward affordability that makes 2025 an opportune moment to buy. 13. Lakeland. Lakeland, positioned right between Tampa and Orlando along the I-4 corridor, has always been something of a sweet spot in Florida. It is close enough to both of those larger metros for work or entertainment, yet it has held onto a smaller city feel that retirees and families find appealing. Known for its historic downtown, its dozens of lakes, and the annual Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo, Lakeland offers a lifestyle that mixes charm, culture, and practicality. In 2025, it also offers something else, a noticeable break in housing costs after years of steady increases. The local housing market, which saw values rise sharply during the pandemic surge, has finally cooled. Average home values have dipped by about 3 to 4% over the past year, and the median listing price sits in the mid-300,000s. For buyers, that translates into $10,000 to $15,000 in savings compared to what they would have paid last year. While Lakeland has not experienced the double-digit price drops of some coastal cities, the shift is significant because this market had been one of the most competitive in Central Florida. With inventory rising and homes staying on the market longer, the balance of power is beginning to tip toward buyers. For retirees, Lakeland's affordability is a major draw. The cost of living here is lower than in nearby Orlando or Tampa, and healthcare options such as Lakeland Regional Health are robust. The city has a reputation for safety and community spirit, making it an attractive place to spend retirement years. Its many lakes and parks provide opportunities for fishing, boating, or simply enjoying the natural scenery. A retiree who may have been squeezed by rising prices in 2022 now has more room to find a comfortable home without stretching their budget. Families benefit from Lakeland's strategic location. Being less than an hour from both Tampa and Orlando means access to jobs in those cities without paying big city housing prices. The school system in Polk County has been improving steadily, and Lakeland Christian School and other private options give parents flexibility. Suburbs and new developments continue to expand, offering larger homes and yards that appeal to growing families. With the modest decline in home prices, more families can buy into these communities than in recent years. The cooling housing market also creates opportunities for first-time buyers and investors. Sellers who once fielded multiple offers are now willing to negotiate, offering concessions or small price cuts to secure deals. That means buyers can take their time and choose carefully rather than rushing into bidding wars. The 3 to 4% dip in values may sound small, but in Lakeland, it is a meaningful adjustment that reopens affordability in a market where demand remains strong. Lakeland belongs on this list because it is a city that delivers on lifestyle, location, and value. With housing costs easing back, 2025 is giving buyers the chance to secure a home in a community that has all the conveniences of Central Florida, but without the intensity of its bigger neighbors. 12. Palm Bay, Space Coast. Palm Bay, located along Florida's Space Coast, is a city that blends affordable coastal living with an innovative, high-tech economy. It often flies under the radar compared to Orlando or Miami, but in 2025, it is commanding more attention as home prices begin to soften. After years of upward pressure driven by new residents and aerospace industry expansion, the market here is finally cooling. Over the past year, values have slipped by about 4 to 5%. That decline means the median home price now sits closer to $310,000, down from the mid-300s during the peak of the pandemic boom. For families, retirees, and first-time buyers, that $10,000 to $15,000 savings is meaningful in a city that already prided itself on affordability. The appeal of Palm Bay lies in its unique combination of coastal beauty and cutting-edge opportunity. Residents enjoy easy access to uncrowded Atlantic beaches, nature preserves like Turkey Creek Sanctuary, and recreational fishing and boating. At the same time, the city sits within Brevard County, home to Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral, and a host of aerospace and defense companies. For young professionals and families, this means steady job opportunities in a high-tech industry while living in neighborhoods that are still within reach of middle-class budgets. Retirees benefit as well, because the local economy's strength ensures stability and continued investment in healthcare and infrastructure. Healthcare in Palm Bay is strong, with Health First Palm Bay Hospital serving the community and additional major hospitals nearby in Melbourne. This accessibility makes it an attractive place for retirees who want both affordable housing and reliable medical care. The slower pace compared to Miami or Orlando adds to its charm, and many retirees appreciate that they can enjoy the Florida lifestyle without the heavy traffic or density of larger metros. For families, Palm Bay offers value in larger homes, many with yards, at prices below the state average. Schools in Brevard County are consistently rated among the better districts in Florida, and extracurricular opportunities tied to science and aerospace give students a unique advantage. The city also has a growing number of suburban-style communities that blend affordability with modern amenities, making it especially appealing for those looking to buy their first or second home. The shift in the housing market is creating real leverage for buyers. Homes are taking longer to sell, and sellers are more open to negotiations or concessions. That is a stark contrast from 2021, when homes were often gone within days. Now, buyers can explore their options and make decisions without feeling pressured. With a 4 to 5% decline in prices, Palm Bay has regained its reputation as one of Florida's best-kept secrets for affordability. Palm Bay earns its spot on this list because it delivers on every front: affordability, lifestyle, and economic stability. In 2025, it offers not just a chance to buy at lower prices, but also an opportunity to invest in a community that is poised for long-term growth. 11. Palm Coast. Palm Coast is one of Florida's most underrated coastal cities, tucked between the historic streets of St. Augustine and the energy of Daytona Beach. Known for its pristine Atlantic shoreline, numerous golf courses, and quiet master-planned communities, Palm Coast has long been seen as a retiree-friendly haven that delivers value compared to its flashier neighbors. In 2025, the appeal is even stronger because home prices have softened noticeably. After several years of aggressive growth, values here have dropped by about 5% year over year, pushing median home prices down into the mid-$300,000 range. That means buyers today are saving $15,000 to $20,000 compared to the same home a year ago. The affordability shift is critical because Palm Coast's identity has always been tied to offering a more relaxed and attainable version of coastal living. For retirees, this translates into being able to secure a home with ocean breezes or golf course views without draining their savings. The area is filled with communities designed for active adults, with amenities like clubhouses, pools, and walking trails. Lower home prices make these options more accessible than they were during the peak years, and buyers on fixed incomes can now enter the market with more confidence. Families also benefit from Palm Coast's new affordability. The city has grown steadily in recent years, adding new schools, healthcare facilities, and shopping centers to support its expanding population. With housing prices easing, larger single-family homes with yards are once again within reach for families who may have been priced out just 2 years ago. Proximity to Interstate 95 makes it easy for residents to commute to Jacksonville or Daytona Beach while still enjoying the quieter suburban pace at home. Lifestyle plays a huge role in Palm Coast's appeal. The city is surrounded by natural preserves, trails, and waterways that make outdoor living part of everyday life. Residents can kayak through mangroves, walk along unspoiled stretches of beach, or golf at one of several highly regarded courses. These are the types of amenities that people often associate with South Florida, but in Palm Coast they come at a fraction of the cost. With the recent dip in housing values, the lifestyle-to-price ratio has never looked better. The shift in the housing market has also tilted bargaining power toward buyers. Homes are spending more time on the market, and sellers are increasingly willing to negotiate. That creates opportunities not only to purchase at a lower list price, but also to secure concessions such as closing cost assistance or upgrades. Compared to the bidding wars of 2021, this represents a dramatic improvement for buyers. Palm Coast earns its place on this list because it delivers the quintessential Florida lifestyle, beaches, golf, community, and sunshine, while now offering greater affordability. The 5% drop in home values is not just a statistic. It is a signal that 2025 is a year of opportunity for those who want coastal living without the coastal price tag. 10. Crestview, located in Florida's Panhandle, is a small but growing community that offers an entirely different flavor of Florida living. Unlike the high-rise condos of Miami or the master-planned communities of Central Florida, Crestview is known for its slower pace, family-friendly neighborhoods, and proximity to the natural beauty of the Emerald Coast. Just a short drive from Destin and Fort Walton Beach, residents enjoy some of the most beautiful beaches in the country while paying far less for housing than in other coastal hotspots. In 2025, Crestview is seeing one of the steepest home price corrections in the state, making it a standout opportunity for buyers seeking affordability. Over the past year, home prices in the Crestview, Fort Walton Beach area have fallen by nearly 9%, one of the sharpest declines in the nation. The median sale price has dropped from around $355,000 to closer to the low 300s. For buyers, that represents savings of $30,000 or more compared to last year. This correction is particularly striking because Crestview's housing market had been red-hot during the pandemic, as military families, retirees, and remote workers competed for limited inventory. Now, with homes staying on the market longer and sellers becoming more flexible, buyers have room to negotiate deals that were unthinkable just a couple of years ago. One of Crestview's greatest strengths is its affordability relative to lifestyle. Families are drawn to its safe neighborhoods, good schools in Okaloosa County, and access to job opportunities at Eglin Air Force Base. Retirees appreciate the slower pace, lower cost of living, and the ability to enjoy Florida's famed beaches without paying South Florida prices. The housing correction means larger single-family homes with yards are again within reach for first-time buyers and retirees alike. Compared to markets like Tampa or Orlando, where even modest dips still leave prices high, Crestview's 9% decline pushes homes into a price range that feels genuinely attainable. The city itself has been steadily improving its amenities, with new restaurants, shopping centers, and infrastructure investments reflecting its growing population. At the same time, Crestview retains its small-town character. Community events, local parks, and easy access to outdoor recreation create a quality of life that balances modern conveniences with traditional charm. For those seeking value, Crestview now offers the kind of affordability that allows families to build equity or retirees to preserve savings while still enjoying Florida's sun and sand. Crestview makes this list because it highlights how smaller Florida markets are experiencing some of the most dramatic price drops. An almost 9% year-over-year decline translates into real savings, and with inventory climbing, buyers have more choices than ever. Whether it is a military family looking to settle near Eglin, a retiree hoping to downsize affordably, or a young couple entering the market for the first time, Crestview in 2025 offers a rare blend of affordability, community, and coastal proximity that makes it one of the smartest places to buy right now. 9. Naples. Naples has long been synonymous with luxury living. It is the kind of place people picture when they dream about retiring in Florida. Palm-lined avenues, white sand Gulf beaches, upscale dining, and golf courses at nearly every turn. For decades, the city's reputation as one of the safest and most beautiful communities in the state has made it a magnet for retirees and high-income buyers alike. The only barrier has been cost, as home values here soared to some of the highest in Florida. But in 2025, that story is changing. For the first time in years, Naples is experiencing a meaningful decline in housing prices, creating a window of opportunity for buyers who never thought they could enter this market. Over the past year, home values in Naples and the broader Collier County area have dropped by roughly 9 to 10%. The median sale price, which hovered around $649,000 in mid-2024, has fallen closer to $590,000 by the summer of 2025. That translates into a savings of nearly $60,000 on the typical home, a rare discount in a market that once only seemed to move upward. For retirees and buyers with the means to take advantage, this decline is significant because it makes one of Florida's most exclusive markets a little more attainable. The appeal of Naples extends far beyond numbers. The city consistently ranks as one of the best places to retire, thanks to its exceptionally low crime rate, pristine environment, and strong healthcare system. Anchored by NCH Healthcare System, retirees can enjoy a vibrant cultural scene, from the Naples Philharmonic to art galleries downtown, while also embracing an active outdoor lifestyle. Golf is practically a religion here, with dozens of courses within a short drive, and the beaches, such as Vanderbilt Beach and Clam Pass Park, are among the finest in the country. With home prices finally softening, buyers now have the chance to live in this paradise without paying last year's premium. Families and younger buyers also see opportunities in Naples. While the city is often thought of as a retiree haven, its schools, parks, and safe neighborhoods make it attractive for families seeking a high quality of life. The price decline means larger homes that might have been out of reach are now within range for those who have been patient. Investors, too, are paying attention. Naples remains a highly desirable market, and purchasing during a downturn often means locking in value before the next wave of demand pushes prices back up. Naples belongs high on this list because the scale of its price correction is rare for such a consistently high-demand market. A nearly 10% drop in median values represents tens of thousands of dollars in real savings, and it has shifted negotiations back toward buyers for the first time in years. For retirees dreaming of luxury coastal living, or families who want safety and beauty without paying top-of-the-market prices, Naples in 2025 offers a rare and valuable opening. 8. Cape Coral, Fort Myers. Cape Coral and Fort Myers together form one of the most unique housing markets in Florida. Cape Coral is often called a boater's paradise, thanks to its extraordinary network of more than 400 miles of canals, while Fort Myers provides historic charm, a growing downtown, and access to the Caloosahatchee River. Over the past decade, this region saw some of the steepest price increases in the state, especially after Hurricane Ian in 2022 drew an insurance-related rebuilding demand. By 2025, however, that frenzy has cooled. This metro is now experiencing one of Florida's sharpest corrections, with home prices down about 11% year over year. The current median sale price sits around $348,000, down from nearly $400,000 just 1 year earlier. That $40,000 to $50,000 swing is not a minor adjustment. It is a game changer for buyers who were priced out during the peak years. The scale of the decline also signals a decisive shift in the balance of power. Homes that once attracted multiple offers above asking are now sitting on the market longer, giving buyers time and leverage to negotiate. This reversal is why Cape Coral and Fort Myers are now considered a buyer's market, a dramatic contrast to the chaos of 2021. Lifestyle remains one of the biggest draws of this region. Retirees are especially fond of Cape Coral for its abundance of waterfront properties that offer private boat docks at far lower prices than comparable homes in Miami or Naples. The warm climate, golf courses, and medical access in Fort Myers make it easy to stay active and healthy. Families appreciate the suburban feel, good schools, and growing amenities in both cities, all while being minutes from Gulf Coast beaches. Now that prices are lower, buyers can step into larger homes or waterfront properties at costs that were unimaginable just a year or two ago. The housing correction also reflects broader inventory trends. Supply has increased significantly, with some estimates suggesting more than 8 months of inventory on the market. That figure firmly places the area into buyer's market territory. Sellers who once had the advantage are now offering price reductions, concessions, or repairs to get deals closed. Buyers, on the other hand, can afford to be selective, taking time to find the right home at the right price. For those who were discouraged by Cape Coral's price surge during the pandemic, 2025 is the long-awaited second chance. Cape Coral and Fort Myers belong on this list because they represent both sharp affordability gains and strong lifestyle appeal. An 11% price drop translates into tens of thousands in savings, and when combined with the region's boating culture, beaches, and family-friendly communities, it is clear why this metro has become one of Florida's most attractive opportunities for homebuyers in 2025. 7. St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg, affectionately called St. Pete, is one of Florida's Gulf Coast gems. Nestled across the bay from Tampa, it offers a blend of culture, beaches, and a vibrant downtown scene that makes it a favorite for both retirees and younger professionals. For years, demand for homes in St. Pete surged as buyers sought the city's arts district, waterfront parks, and proximity to award-winning Gulf beaches. But by 2025, the market has cooled. After climbing steeply during the pandemic years, home values have slipped by about 5 to 8%, depending on the neighborhood, translating into average savings of $25,000 or more compared to last year's prices. This drop matters because St. Pete has long been seen as a city where affordability was starting to disappear. The median home now sells for around $395,000, down from over $420,000 at its peak. That reduction is significant for buyers who want to live near Florida's West Coast beaches while still having access to a true city lifestyle. For retirees, it means access to waterfront condos, charming bungalows, or downtown apartments without stretching their budgets as thin as in recent years. For younger families, it represents a second chance at securing larger homes in neighborhoods like Kenwood or Shore Acres. The appeal of St. Pete is not just in its housing stock, but in the lifestyle it provides. The downtown area has undergone a renaissance, filled with restaurants, breweries, and museums such as the Salvador Dalí Museum and the Museum of Fine Arts. Outdoor life is just as prominent, with waterfront parks, biking trails, and access to boating and fishing. For retirees, the ability to walk along the pier, attend art festivals, or play golf in a mild climate makes the city irresistible. Families benefit from a range of schools and the balance of urban amenities with a strong sense of community. Healthcare access is another major advantage. St. Petersburg is home to Bayfront Health and is within close reach of other major medical centers in Tampa. This ensures retirees can enjoy their golden years with confidence that their healthcare needs are covered. Combined with the fact that the cost of living is still lower than in Miami or Naples, St. Pete represents one of the best values in Florida's coastal cities. What makes 2025 especially important is the shift in negotiating dynamics. Homes are staying on the market longer, and sellers are increasingly willing to lower asking prices or cover closing costs. For buyers, this means choice, flexibility, and the chance to step into one of Florida's most culturally rich and scenic cities at a relative discount. St. Petersburg earns its place on this list because it shows how even highly desirable markets are not immune to price corrections. With a 5 to 8% decline in values, buyers now have the opportunity to access beaches, arts, and a vibrant community for tens of thousands less than they would have paid just 1 year ago. 6. Sebastian, Vero Beach. The Treasure Coast has always been one of Florida's best-kept secrets, and nowhere is that more evident than in the Sebastian and Vero Beach area. Unlike the hustle of Miami or the congestion of Orlando, this stretch of Atlantic shoreline offers small-town charm, unspoiled beaches, and a relaxed pace of life that appeals strongly to retirees and families alike. In 2025, it also offers something else that makes it stand out: falling home prices that are opening doors to buyers who thought this lifestyle might be out of reach. Over the past year, the Sebastian Vero Beach market has experienced one of the largest price corrections in Florida. Median sale prices, which once hovered around $408,000, have dropped to roughly $376,000. That represents an 8 to 10% decline, equating to a savings of more than $30,000 for the average buyer. For a market that had seen steady, almost unrelenting appreciation for years, this sudden reversal is striking. It transforms what was once a niche luxury market into an attainable option for retirees on fixed incomes and families looking for affordable coastal living. Sebastian and Vero Beach are appealing not just because of price, but because of their way of life. Sebastian is often described as an old Florida town, with riverfront boardwalks, fishing spots, and quiet neighborhoods. Vero Beach, on the other hand, adds a touch of sophistication, with art galleries, cultural festivals, and a growing dining scene. Combined, they provide a lifestyle balance. Small-town familiarity paired with enough culture and recreation to keep things interesting. For retirees, the appeal is clear. Daily walks on uncrowded beaches, afternoons spent fishing on the Indian River Lagoon, and evenings enjoying a concert downtown are part of everyday life here. Families also find this area compelling. The school systems in Indian River County have been improving, and the lower density compared to South Florida means safer streets and more space for children. Housing affordability makes it possible for families to buy larger properties, often with yards, at prices that compare favorably to inland cities without the added benefit of ocean access. The recent price decline has made these advantages even more accessible. The healthcare infrastructure is another major plus. Cleveland Clinic Indian River Hospital provides high-quality care, and larger facilities in Melbourne and Palm Bay are within easy reach. This makes the region especially appealing for retirees who want the tranquility of a smaller community but still require dependable medical access. What stands out most in 2025 is the shift in market dynamics. Homes that once drew multiple bids are now staying on the market longer, forcing sellers to reduce prices or offer concessions. For buyers, that means real leverage, something nearly impossible to imagine just a few years ago. Sebastian and Vero Beach earn their place on this list because they combine affordability, natural beauty, and a slower pace of life. With home prices down by 8 to 10% and median values dropping by more than $30,000, 2025 is shaping up to be one of the best times in years to buy into this hidden gem of the Florida coast. 5. The Villages. The Villages is unlike any other city in Florida, or even in the country. Often described as Disney World for retirees, it is a sprawling master-planned community that spans across Sumter, Lake, and Marion counties. With more than 100 recreation centers, dozens of golf courses, and a social calendar that includes everything from dance clubs to pickleball tournaments, the Villages offers a lifestyle specifically built for adults over 55. For years, demand has been so strong that home values climb steadily, making it harder for newcomers to buy in. But in 2025, the trend has shifted. After years of relentless growth, home prices in the Villages have finally fallen, marking one of the steepest corrections in Florida. Over the past year, the median sale price in the Villages has dropped by more than 11%. That translates into a decline from roughly $392,000 down to about $347,000. For retirees, that $45,000 swing is significant. It means buyers who may have been priced out just 12 months ago now have an opening to purchase in one of the most sought-after retirement destinations in America. Considering that homes here come packaged with unparalleled amenities and a ready-made social community, the ability to enter at a lower cost is a game changer. The Village's appeal lies not only in its affordability, but also in the lifestyle it provides. Residents live in neighborhoods designed with golf cart travel in mind, making it easy to move between recreation centers, shopping plazas, and town squares. Entertainment is available every night, with live music, dancing, and events that keep the community buzzing. For retirees seeking an active lifestyle, this environment provides instant opportunities to connect, make friends, and stay engaged. The lower home prices of 2025 mean more retirees can access this unique way of life without overextending financially. Healthcare is another key draw. The village's regional hospital and numerous clinics throughout the area ensure that medical needs are met close to home. This level of access makes it attractive for retirees who want peace of mind as they age. Combined with Florida's lack of state income tax, the villages offers a financially smart option for those living on pensions or fixed retirement income. The market dynamics have shifted dramatically. Homes are staying on the market longer, and sellers are more open to negotiations than in the past. When bidding wars were common, buyers are finding they can negotiate lower prices, secure concessions, or simply take their time to make decisions without the pressure that defined earlier years. The Villages earns its place high on this list because it demonstrates how even Florida's most in-demand retirement community is not immune to the broader housing correction. An 11% price drop represents one of the steepest declines anywhere in the state, and it has created a rare moment of opportunity. For retirees dreaming of a vibrant, socially active community, 2025 is the year to make that dream more affordable. 4. Punta Gorda. Punta Gorda, located on Charlotte Harbor along Florida's southwest coast, is a city that perfectly balances small-town charm with waterfront living. Known for its walkable, historic downtown, weekly farmers markets, and scenic marinas, it has become a favorite among retirees and boaters who value a slower pace of life paired with direct access to the Gulf of Mexico. For years, that appeal fueled steady price growth, especially after Hurricane Ian raised rebuilding demand. But in 2025, Punta Gorda has become one of the hardest-hit housing markets in Florida. Prices have fallen sharply, creating a rare buying opportunity in a place that rarely saw discounts in the past. Over the past year, Punta Gorda's median home price has dropped by roughly 8 to 9%, with some reports suggesting declines as steep as 14%. That translates into a shift from about $355,000 to closer to $325,000. For buyers, that $30,000 to $50,000 difference is not just statistical, it is the chance to secure a harborfront lifestyle at a fraction of what it cost during the peak. It also means larger homes, canal-front properties, or condos with water views are now within reach for those who were priced out only a year or two ago. The lifestyle here is a major draw. Retirees find themselves surrounded by a community oriented toward leisure, with bike trails, yacht clubs, and outdoor festivals happening year-round. Families enjoy safe neighborhoods, good schools, and the kind of community cohesion that larger cities often lack. The downtown district, lined with restaurants, boutiques, and art galleries, has a quaint feel that reflects the city's history while still offering modern conveniences. For boaters, Punta Gorda is unmatched, with quick access from canals and marinas directly into Charlotte Harbor and the Gulf beyond. Healthcare is also strong for a city of its size. Bayfront Health Punta Gorda provides local services, while larger regional hospitals in Fort Myers are only a short drive away. This makes the area especially attractive to retirees who want both a relaxed lifestyle and dependable medical care. With prices falling, buyers can now combine affordability with quality of life amenities that remain consistently strong. The market dynamics in Punta Gorda are what really make 2025 remarkable. Inventory has ballooned, with more than 8 months' worth of homes available, firmly pushing the city into buyer's market territory. Sellers who once had the upper hand are now conceding ground, dropping prices or offering incentives to close deals. For buyers, this means time, choice, and leverage, 3 things that were absent during the pandemic housing frenzy. Punta Gorda belongs near the top of this list because its affordability swing is among the most dramatic in Florida. A drop of up to 14% is rare in any coastal city, and here it represents tens of thousands of dollars in real savings. For those who dream of waterfront living without the hefty Naples or Sarasota price tags, Punta Gorda in 2025 may be the best opportunity in years to make that dream a reality. 3. Cape Coral. Cape Coral is a city that embodies the Florida waterfront lifestyle. Known for having more than 400 miles of navigable canals, it is one of the few places where an ordinary homebuyer can realistically own a property with boat access right out the back door. For decades, that affordability combined with unique geography made Cape Coral a hidden treasure. During the pandemic, however, its market exploded as remote workers, retirees, and investors rushed in, pushing prices to record highs. By 2025, the tables have turned. Cape Coral is now one of the steepest declining markets in the state, with home prices dropping by about 11% over the past year. The numbers tell the story. The median home price, which hovered near $390,000 last year, has fallen into the low to mid $300,000 range. That represents savings of $40,000 to $50,000 for the average buyer. For a city offering waterfront access at prices already lower than Naples or Miami, this new affordability is a game changer. It opens the door for retirees who want canal front living on a fixed income, families looking for larger homes, and investors searching for rental opportunities in a market that is still highly desirable. Cape Coral's appeal goes far beyond numbers. Its canal system makes boating, fishing, and kayaking a way of life. Retirees are drawn to neighborhoods where every backyard connects to the water, while families enjoy suburban living, with schools, parks, and shopping centers nearby. Healthcare is strong in the region, with Lee Health facilities and hospitals serving the growing population. The city is also close to Fort Myers, which offers additional cultural and economic opportunities. Even after the price correction, the underlying lifestyle benefits remain intact, making this downturn more about market timing than long-term weakness. The housing correction is also reshaping buyer-seller dynamics. With inventory climbing and homes sitting on the market longer, sellers are dropping prices and offering concessions. What was once a seller's market defined by bidding wars has now become a buyer's market where negotiation is expected. This shift creates opportunities to not only secure homes at lower list prices, but also to obtain favorable terms such as closing cost coverage or repair credits. Cape Coral earns its place near the top of this list because it represents perhaps the best bang-for-your-buck opportunity in Florida coastal living right now. An 11% decline in values translates into real, tangible savings for buyers. The chance to secure a canal-front home in a city designed for boaters at tens of thousands less than last year is rare. For retirees, families, and investors alike, Cape Coral in 2025 offers a combination of affordability and lifestyle that is nearly unmatched anywhere in the state. 2. Northport. Northport, located in Sarasota County, has quickly risen from being a quiet inland community to one of Florida's fastest-growing cities. Known for its newer homes, family-friendly neighborhoods, and proximity to the cultural and coastal amenities of Sarasota, Northport attracted waves of buyers during the pandemic years. Prices surged as demand outpaced supply, with newcomers drawn by affordability compared to Sarasota proper and nearby Venice. But in 2025, Northport has emerged as one of the sharpest correcting housing markets in the entire country. Home prices here have dropped by more than 12% over the past year, one of the steepest declines anywhere in Florida. The numbers are striking. Homes that sold for about $440,000 just a year ago are now closer to the $385,000 to $390,000 range. That $50,000 swing is not just a dip, it is a reset that has suddenly made the area accessible again to middle-class families and retirees. The median home price now sits comfortably below the national average, despite Northport's location in one of Florida's most desirable coastal counties. For buyers who had written off Sarasota County as too expensive, 2025 presents a rare opening. The appeal of Northport goes well beyond affordability. Families are drawn to its safe neighborhoods, good schools, and access to jobs across Sarasota and Charlotte counties. The city offers a suburban lifestyle with newer developments, parks, and recreational facilities, all while being just a short drive from Gulf beaches like Venice Beach and Siesta Key. Retirees benefit from the quieter pace compared to Sarasota or Fort Myers, as well as the abundant natural beauty of Myakka River State Park and Warm Mineral Springs, a unique natural spa in the heart of the city. Healthcare is another strong point. Sarasota Memorial Healthcare System and other regional hospitals provide top-rated care, giving retirees peace of mind. At the same time, proximity to Sarasota's arts, dining, and cultural scene allows residents to enjoy world-class amenities without paying Sarasota's housing premiums. With prices falling sharply, Northport offers a compelling mix of lifestyle benefits and newfound affordability. The housing correction has dramatically shifted market dynamics. Inventory is high, and homes linger on the market far longer than they did during the frenzy of 2021. Sellers are not only lowering asking prices but also covering closing costs or offering incentives to close deals. Buyers have leverage that simply did not exist during the peak, making negotiations far more favorable. Northport belongs near the top of this list because it represents the largest price correction among Florida's mid-sized cities. A 12% decline translates into tens of thousands of dollars in real savings, while the city's family-friendly and retiree-friendly environment remains as strong as ever. For those who want Sarasota County living at a discount, 2025 may be the best time in years to make a move into Northport. 1. Miami Metro. It may surprise some to see Miami at the very top of this list. For years, Miami has been known as one of the most expensive and competitive housing markets in the entire country, fueled by international buyers, remote workers moving south during the pandemic, and limited supply in a coastal city surrounded by water. Prices rose so quickly between 2020 and 2022 that many local families and even retirees on solid savings felt locked out of the market entirely. Yet by 2025, Miami has joined the list of Florida cities where prices are retreating, and the magnitude of its shift is drawing national attention. Home values across Miami-Dade County have declined by about 5% over the past year. While that number may sound smaller than the double-digit drops seen in places like Northport or Cape Coral, in Miami the dollar impact is enormous. With median home values that once hovered around $600,000, a 5% decline represents average savings of $30,000 or more. For buyers, that is the difference between being completely priced out and finally being able to enter the market. For retirees looking at condos along Biscayne Bay or families seeking suburban homes in Kendall or Doral, this correction is making Miami accessible in ways it has not been for years. The appeal of Miami extends well beyond its real estate market. It remains one of the most dynamic cultural centers in the United States, offering world-class dining, nightlife, and art. Its beaches, from South Beach to Sunny Isles, are legendary. Healthcare infrastructure is robust, anchored by Jackson Memorial Hospital and the University of Miami Health System, making it appealing to retirees who need consistent care. Families benefit from a diverse school system, both public and private, as well as opportunities tied to Miami's role as an international business hub. With home prices slipping, these lifestyle benefits can now be accessed without paying the absolute peak premiums. The housing correction has also shifted the balance of power toward buyers. Sellers who once demanded all-cash offers or waived inspections are now making concessions. Homes are sitting on the market longer, and price reductions are more common than at any time in the last decade. For buyers, that means negotiating power and flexibility. For investors, it signals a chance to acquire property in one of the most resilient global real estate markets at a relative discount. Miami earns the #1 spot on this list because it demonstrates how even Florida's most iconic, high-demand city is not immune to correction. A 5% drop may not sound like much compared to the state's smaller markets, but in Miami's price ranges, it represents tens of thousands of dollars in savings. In 2025, that shift is transforming one of the most competitive housing markets into a place where retirees, families, and investors all have new opportunities to claim their piece of the Magic City at a better price. Florida's housing market is shifting, and for buyers, retirees, and even investors, the opportunities in 2025 are unlike anything we've seen in years. From hidden gems on the Treasure Coast to major metros where prices are finally easing, the Sunshine State is full of possibilities if you know where to look. Which of these 20 cities caught you by surprise, and which one do you think offers the very best deal? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our latest updates.